Genetics and autism, 4,734 articles on that. That's because what gets the most money? Genes. So right around the turn of the century, what did we do? We sequenced the human DNA, and we got really excited because we figured we had opened Pandora's box and we can get inside and we can figure it all out. And we had the keys to the civilization and the city. We could do it all because we had the sequence of the human DNA. So we've thrown a lot of money at genetic causes of autism. The reason for it is families who have twins tend to be at higher risk. There's asymmetrical twins, which are the non-identical twins, as well as the identical twins. There's studies out there that would imply that. But again, when you look at the strength of the associations genetically, it's pretty weak stuff, actually. Gene-environment interactions, this is where I fall in. So autism, in my opinion, is an environmental disease that interacts with genetic vulnerabilities to create issues. And there's 146 of those. Autism and pesticides, only 49 articles on that, but not bad. Environment and autism, we're getting better. There's 2,449 if you put that in. That's a lot of reading to do. That will keep you up for a few nights. Autism and cure, 96 hits. Wow, somebody must have cured autism. I read every article. Everyone says this: there is no cure for autism, and usually followed by a but or a however, or maybe we should go down this pathway of research. The reason the cure got in there was because it really should be no cure, okay? Because that's what medicine thinks about autism. It has no cure. So why am I giving a lecture about how close are we to a cure? Because that's what you want. That's what I want. Are we there? Are we getting there? So a lot of intersections. I don't know how many circles I drew there, but there's a lot of circles, and there's a lot of circles in the literature of things that are overlapping. But somehow, either we wind up with optimal brain function in the center of that, or we wind up with some developmental disorder, whether you call it autism or ADHD or LD or whatever you want to call it. We either wind up with that circle giving us optimal brain function or we don't. So we have a big issue. So I threw out a lot of chicken and eggs at you, okay? And I know some of you have skipped breakfast and are just having coffee at this point in time. But what is it the insult to the gene or the vulnerability of the gene? So these vulnerability genes that we know we have in autism have been around for how long? Probably a really long time, like thousands of years. Genetic drift in the human species is relatively subtle. It doesn't happen quickly. It doesn't happen generationally without some sort of huge environmental impact like radiation or pesticides or other sorts of things. So these are not bad genes. You're not giving your kids bad genes. They may actually be not even your genes after they go through environmental pollution. They may alter and change. So, recovery from the diagnosis of autism and then. So this is an excellent study from Karolinska, and there's some great researchers at Karolinska, and I've been following the work of Gilbert, and I'm going to go through some of his work with you today because I think it's a really exciting addition to our thinking about autism. Excuse me. So they followed a bunch of kids who recovered. They used the word recovery instead of cure, but by everybody's criteria, they had no symptoms of autism. They were mainstreamed. They went through intensive ABA and biological treatment. They had no symptoms of autism. They followed them sequentially for years, and guess what happened to them? They stopped therapy. They probably went off the diet. Everybody thought they were out of the woods. Nearly all of them regressed back into autism. So, at least in this situation, the way they were approaching them at Karolinska, they were causing a remission of autism, but not curing it. So, Gilbert came up with this term, essence. How many of you have read Essence and know or are familiar with Essence? Wow, you're a bunch of virgins. That's great. So I can introduce you to this concept. This is awesome.